All right, guys, welcome back to the show. Another week, another massive, massive week. And I do think that you have to protect your capital. Now, I'm coming to you from a hotel room. I'm out in Token 2049 in Dubai. If you are here, come and say hi. I'd love to meet you. I'm going to all the side events possible, probably like 4 or 5 side events. But I'm going to check in here with a pre-record every single day and just show you what is really happening, because I do think there are a bunch of cool stuff to talk about. And I do think that this week is going to be massive when it comes to trading. You want to protect the capital. You don't want to pull the trigger too early. And you want to know where to enter and where to exit. So that's what we're going to talk about. If you don't know who I am, my name is Fefe. I bring you trades like these, and we take trades here on the show. I write you threads that educate you to make you understand the things that you don't necessarily understand, and I have daily recaps on my X account. So you want to go down to the description of the show, make sure to smash the subscribe button, and also check out my socials. Now, let's jump on here. Number one is the massive week, guys. I mean, PENGU is up 160%, virtual is up 120, Trump token is up 84%. I called this at $12 on the show here. I know a lot of you have taken the trade. If you did, do me a favor and go down to the comments and just let me know if you have, and if you have profited any. I'm very happy about it. Jupiter's up 20, IMAX 24, but all these are disappearing next to SUI, Ballers, PENGU, virtual, Trump. But if you look at the ETF inflows, everything is bullish. $3 billion net inflow last week, absolutely bullish. Stablecoin market capitalization surged 4.58 billion. We do have the SEC approving the XRP ETF. And we do have Trump saying that, once tariffs will be gone and this and that, or tariffs cut, you will see the income tax substantially reduced. So people are extremely bullish about the economy. Now, I'm talking to some people out here in Token, and just having some thoughts regarding the market. And there are certain metrics that actually show as well that it's not as good as it may look like, and that we do have another flush coming. Now, I don't really think that it is going to come where we're going to see a new low, but we've got to take under consideration when you start deploying. Now, I met a bank manager, like he manages high net worth individuals yesterday on this Polo event, and I tweeted it, and I said, a bank investment manager for high net worth, ultra high net worth individuals who texted me today, they see another massive leg down. He said the S&P 500 will bottom around 4,200, which should put the S&P to about 30% down from where we are. That would send Bitcoin down to like 50, 60,000. So while I don't think that there's a very clear invalidation, so I'm pretty bullish on even looking at it. Now, there's a bunch of things happening this week. We've got CB customer confidence data, JOLTS, we've got job openings, we've got PCA inflation, we've got April job report, we've got the S&P 500, 25% of the S&P 500 companies reporting earnings. It's very important because two things: how healthy is the economy, how are the earnings, and of course that impacts inflation to a certain extent, which at least will impact some of the decisions that the Fed is making regarding rate cut, quantitative easing, quantitative tightening continuation, whatnot. So let's jump into the charts. But before I do that, very freaking important, if you have not seen the latest $1 Billion Hustle episode, go and see it. I literally worked 22 hours straight. I was sick as a dog, and I delivered my first ever keynote. It is an incredible episode that really shows. A lot of you are asking me, how can you do 12 shows a week and all that? This is how. This is what it takes. It's a relatively long episode, but it's really worth every single second of it. So there's a link in the description. You go down here. This is my weekly vlog, by the way. There I share with you a bunch of stuff, bunch of learnings from my life, and every single week there's an episode coming out. You can go down here and it says subscribe to Fefe's weekly vlog, the $1 Billion Hustle, down in the description, but we're also going to make it as a pinned comment. Go and check that out. But I will obviously cover Dubai as well. This is why I think it's worth. And I have a 360 camera, and I will cover everything in 360. So it's going to be super cool. Go and subscribe. Anyway, let's jump in here. So, weekly close, beautiful. Beautiful weekly close. Everybody's saying, oh my God, it's a beautiful weekly close. And it is. Don't misunderstand me. I said that so the fact that we were able to close above this daily level here, which is actually even a weekly level. We don't have a close below there, but it's a very, very strong level, and we basically have a V-shaped recovery from here. Again, if you watch my content, if you follow me on X, you know what I'm talking about. But you have a close below here, you have a close above there. That's a clear sign of a V-shaped recovery on the daily chart. Last time we saw that, and it wasn't even V-shaped recovery, was right here when we had a high taken, overtaken, and then non-stop. It was, a push above. Which can very well happen. So that's why I said I'm about 50% allocated on my spot bags. It can happen that we start pushing. I personally think there's way too much uncertainty out there for us to just ape in blindly. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that markets usually retrace 50%. I want to see that 50% retrace. I'm not interested in getting in. And if you look at the weekly chart, this is literally retracing right into a weekly order block up here. So we can see, and this is what I would believe will happen, we can see a rally onto the opening of the week, possibly all the way up, and this is the total market cap, but it will be the same with Bitcoin, possibly up to the 3 trillion mark, right into this weekly order block, which we see here. And then from there, I would expect a rejection. So I would expect a lower low on the hourly and 4-hour chart, and then possibly a 50% retrace. Whether the 50% retrace comes from here or it comes from higher, I can't really tell you. But what I'm waiting for to deploy my capital and take trades is a lower low as initiation, and then a retrace all the way to the 2.75-ish region. Now, what that means, just so we're clear, is about 13 to 15% retrace on the total market cap, possibly about 20 to 30% retrace on alts. And I do think that would be enough. We don't need to make new lows. Now, what about the guy who was saying that the S&P will probably bottom out at like 4,200? Well, the thing is, for me, if that happens, let me go into the Bitcoin chart. If the S&P drops another 30% here, let me just pull the S&P chart up here. There we go. So if you look at the S&P here, the S&P dropped about, from the peak in February, dropped about 22%, right? If you look at Bitcoin, peak in February, Bitcoin dropped about 31%. So if the S&P would drop, and if this guy is, again, like this guy managed, like they have, this is a freaking bank managing massive amounts of money. They consider this as a, so to say, a bear market rally. If the S&P would bottom out at about 4,200, that's another 23% from here, which would put Bitcoin down to about, if we take the same scale, about 62,000, which, by the way, I didn't even realize this, but which, by the way, is beautifully still within the weekly range. So I would not, this would not even invalidate the Bitcoin bull market. Like if we would go down to the 62,000, that would still be the weekly bottom, wouldn't even be, you know, it would just be considered a consolidation down, continued consolidation, and then we see a weekly high. Now, let me just look back here. I'm actually doing this with you here. Again, as I was saying, I'm on token, and I didn't really spend all my time looking at the charts, but this is actually quite interesting because if you look at, let me just see and look at the weekly chart on the previous one. Here we had a weekly close above. Look at this. A weekly V-shaped recovery. Exactly. On the previous one, this was a weekly recovery. Guys, we can actually be in trouble. I'm not even kidding. So this was a weekly recovery here. That's massive because this here is not a weekly recovery yet. Like the weekly recovery would be up here at 110, and then from there 250. Yes, so I do think there is more. Definitely doesn't make any sense to start deploying now, like massively start deploying now. I do think that we can have, although we have a daily recovery here, which we had here as well. Look at this. So we had a daily recovery, and then we had one more whip, which is exactly what it looks like. Exactly what it looks like. Look, we did have a daily recovery here, and then another wick down. This could easily happen here, where you have a daily recovery and then a little bit of push to the weekly OB, and then another wick down to the 62,000-ish region, or 70. I don't see 62, but like it can happen that we do have enough flush down. All I'm saying is I'm not deploying now, and the reason why I'm not deploying is because I'm waiting for at least a 50% retrace. Now, if we do have a weekly close above here, I will reconsider. If we have a weekly close above 110, I'm convinced. But until then, this is just a retrace to the daily OB or the weekly OB up here, which you're seeing, and we probably are going to see a rejection from here. What I'm looking at is I'm looking at buying around 86,000, and I need to see a 4-hour confirmation. I need to see a higher high on most of the charts. Now, after this video, I'm gonna jump in. After you watching this video, we have a video published on the 100x Club that I would put out earlier, so you will find it in the description. You go down to the description here, you will see the 100x Club Fefe's trading channel, and you will jump in here. I will analyze you 15, 20 tokens on where I am waiting for the entries. This is my trading channel. I'm going to do live trading education, much more. You're going to subscribe there as well. I do all the fundamentals here as much as I can. So go and check out now. Check out after this video. Before you do that, though, I want to tell you 2 more things. One is if you want a great exchange to trade on, you might want to check out VX. They are our partners, non-KYC, available worldwide. You can trade for 0% maker fees. That means if you put limit orders, you can trade completely for free. They have a big campaign going on. You can win a bunch of stuff, including a Ferrari, and they get a bunch of tokens to you if you do basic tests like deposit $100, have 20,000 trading volume, much more. So go and check them out. There is a link in the description as you go here. And there's one very important thing. Look at this. You know this guy. So the fact is, this is a scammer. Okay. Oh, you can't hear it. Earbuds. Let me play this again.
If you get this video. How are you doing today? I've tried reaching out to you, but you haven't responded. Let me know if you get this video. Hey there, how are you doing today? I've tried reaching out to you, but you haven't responded. Let me know if you get this video.
So the thing is that these scammers, what they actually do is they take someone like Sheldon and they replicate him as an AI character, replicate his voice, replicate his whatever face, and they send it to you on a DM, whether it's on Discord, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on Telegram, wherever you might be, they send it to you and make you believe that it's actually Sheldon. Now, I don't know what you think, but if you ask me, or my mom, or my, even wife, if this is Sheldon,
you haven't responded. Let me know if you get this video.
They will say yes. Without a doubt, they will say yes. And it is super freaking scary because this is just how things work. And unfortunately, this is how you get ready. Now, you can't protect yourself. One, very important. One, no one ever will ask you for money. If they do, they are scammers, they are liars. You should never, ever send money to anyone ever again, okay? Or again, I hope not again, but ever. That's it. Two, no one will ask you to deposit funds on a shady exchange you never heard about so you can copy trade that person. That's also a lie because this is what these scammers do. They tell you to deposit, you deposit and you actually see your balance. It looks like if it was real, but then it's just a dead end because you can't even withdraw. They allow you to withdraw like $100. You think it's true, you deposit more. There are so many horrible stories with this. Now, I can't protect you against you sending money to someone. Unfortunately, I can't do that. But what I can do is to help you protect yourself when you land on a phishing, website or a scammy website. Now, I use NordVPN and I've been using them way before they were partners. The reason why I use them, besides the cool double VPN, double encryption, all the cool stuff that they have, is because of something called the threat protection. They have this built-in feature. It's like literally, I don't even know, it's like $5, $6, $7 a month. We have an incredible deal for you down in the description. But this will tell you if you're clicking on a phishing site. So let's say that you might get through somehow and these guys get you to click on a website. This threat protection that's running in the background will simply flag it and drop this to you and say like, hey, you are on a wrong side. This is not a legit site. It's a scammy site. It will actually steal money from you. So please do yourself a favor. You need a VPN anyway if you are in crypto, but please do yourself a favor and get yourself an old VPN. If you use our link, I appreciate it. You get great deals with it that is not available anywhere else. But if you want to use any other VPN, please just use a VPN with a threat protection because it's a key component when it comes to crypto. And please don't trust any of this. This is freaking scary. This is freaking scary. Things are gonna get wild, and just protect yourself to the best of your ability. Guys, I truly appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for spending this time with me. Make sure that you actually go and check out the video that we put up on the 100x Club. So if you go there in the 100x Club, we do have a video published where I run through like 7 or 8 or 10 coins that with specific entries. There are great scalp entries today. So there's a link in the description. Go and check it out. It says Fefe's trading channel, and I have the video there. It will, if you just click here, it will actually take you to the video. So go and check that out. Subscribe to the channel and follow me on X. Come back every single day. I will try to make sure to come here every single day, even though the conference. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Protect yourself. Do not start deploying massive capital. You have time. Don't worry about it. And third, you might be able to take the scalp trades over the 100x Club. Guys, check out these 2 videos. One of them will be the 100x Club, so you can just click on there as well. This is going to be the subscribe button, so you can just click on there to subscribe and come back. Truly appreciate you, and I believe I'll see you in the next one.